China, Thailand, or Indonesia. I think these are the cheaper vaccines, the cheaper forms of vaccines, and I think what should be a safer vaccine will be those coming from the multinational companies, where the type of vaccine manufactured is the heat inactivated vaccines or viruses as a substrate for the vaccine. While those countries, China in particular, manufactures theirs yung tinatawag na light attenuated. Medyo mas nakakatakot yun. So we still don't have any experience with these vaccines, and that's why the safety, the quality are equally important issues that have to be dealt with before they commercialize or they sell in commercial volumes set vaccines.
I'm reading from a WHO report, Secretary. So I would imagine that if they say that these are the potential H1N1 vaccine manufacturers, they are acceptable to WHO. That's why I'm just wondering why the Philippines is not part of this. I can understand if it's only, let's say, China or Korea or India, which are the more developed countries, but we have Indonesia and even Vietnam as part of the list of potential vaccine manufacturers as listed by WHO. I believe that especially now that we came out with this cheaper medicines law, that we should be a leader in this area. Mr. Secretary.
Sorry, Your Honor.
I said that I think we should be a leader in this area because I cannot accept that we are behind countries like Vietnam and Indonesia in this area.
Your Honor, in fact, we have the RITM. It has its own very limited vaccine manufacturing plant, but it has to go through improved capacitation, especially in the area of quality assurance and safety and efficacy of these vaccines. But I will be very happy to give you a report as to what has happened since the President convened a meeting of the DOH, DOST, RITM, and the scientific community and the University of the Philippines. Your Honor.
Now on other problems like rabies, this is quite a big problem because most of the victims, practically all of the victims in my experience, are people from the poor communities, people who can ill afford the treatment. But I noticed that in spite of this problem, your budget for rabies control has been reduced from 80 million to 75 million. Why is that so, Mr. Secretary? In fact, I am even inclined to propose that we increase this by 50 million. Again, this is the result of a study conducted by our group. Instead of reducing, it should be increasing because one, the problem has not subsided, and two, the population has increased. So why reduce it from 80 million to 75 million?
Well, Your Honor, the reduction did come from us. In fact, we did propose an increase by 50 million, Your Honor. So certainly we welcome your initiative to lead the way in increasing the budget for rabies control and prevention.
Thank you. How many bite cases do you have every year? Do you know? Our figure is about 146,000. 146,000.
Yes, sure.
You have the same figure.
Yes, sure.
But it could increase to, well, we should cover maybe 20% more of the bite cases. Because
yes,
as I said, either it's a killer physically or killer economically, as far as the victims are concerned.
Yes, Your Honor, but I think the also other consideration is to strengthen the vaccination of dogs, because the vaccine for dogs is really much cheaper than the ones for humans. So I think it's only 40 pesos. 10 pesos na lang pala ngayon ang bakuna sa aso. And I think that should be more cost effective.
So, but why are you who should be doing this?
That's the DA, Your Honor. The Department of Agriculture, Your Honor. Bureau of Animal Industry.
But why can't the Department of Health take the initiative also? Because in the end, it will be a human health problem, not an animal health problem. I would expect the Department of Agriculture, if we're talking of pork animals, for example, or for food, but eventually it is going to be a Department of Health problem.
I think it's a question of personnel augmentation, Your Honor. We look into this, Your Honor, and perhaps we can synergize with the Department of Agriculture, Bureau of Animal Industry to push for this very important prevention program.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, I propose that we look into the need to restore the original budget of the DOH with respect to rabies control. And then another observation that I have is with respect to national epidemiological and disease surveillance. I noticed that from 165 billion, this was also reduced to 145,650,000. Again, this is contrary to what we observed. We still have a lot of problems in this area. So why the reduction in the budget?
I think the reduction was in the capital outlay, Your Honor. But the MOE is essentially the same, Your Honor.
Yeah, but capital outlay can be very important.
Yes, Your
For
Honor.
example, I'm talking of other areas like it's not related, but CT scan, for example, that is a capital equipment. And very often we encounter constituents who are having problem with CT scan services because they're quite expensive as well. How many CT scans does the DOH operate all over the country?
The CT scans, we have about at least 20 CT scans.
Medyo mabigat kasi ito. Ang dami humingi ng tulong parati yung CT scan, CT scan.
Mga 2 po ang CT scans.
Only 20 all over the country.
In the DOH hospitals alone,